Hello to you all my dear friends and welcome again to my YouTube channel. In this video we're going to discuss a very famous short story especially for the ICSE students titled The Case for the Defense by Greene. Now this short story is about a murder case popularly known as the Peckham murder case in which an old lady, Mrs. Parker, has been murdered in her house in the middle of the night. There were several witnesses to this case, the chief witness being Mrs. Salmon, who was the neighbor of Mrs. Parker. Mrs. Salmon has seen the murderer on the steps of Mrs. Parker's house with a hammer in his hand. He throws the hammer in the bushes and then he runs away. Now the trial of this case is taking place in the courtroom and the murderer has been identified as Mr. Adams, who was present in the dock. Mrs. Salmon firmly and honestly puts her account before the judges and before others present in the courtroom. But then an unusual turn takes place in the story as the man's counsel introduces the court to an identical looking person sitting at the back of the courtroom with his wife. This man looked exactly as Mr. Adams, who was in the dock. Both of them were twin brothers and both of them had alibis that each of them was with their wives on the night of the murder. So the man in the dock was acquitted because of the lack of evidence. But then again an unusual turn takes place in the story. As these twins were walking out of the courtroom, as these twins were walking out of the court, one of these twins met a horrible accident as he got pushed on the road and he was killed by an oncoming bus. Now the other twin cries over his brother's death, and here the author ends this story with a question: if you were Mrs. Salmon, could you sleep at night? So brothers and sisters, I believe that it is one of the most interesting short story with a lot of unusual turns. And this story talks about divine justice. If man could escape earthly judgment in some or the other way, he cannot and he will never be able to escape the judgment of God. He will never be able to avoid divine justice. So I request you all to please go through this short story, recommend this short story to all of you. You can read this short story through the link in the description. I hope that you'll all enjoy this short story. Please comment your opinions about the short story as well, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.